I mean, obviously she would not, but... Well, Monica?
I like it, Hallie.
Really?
It's a lot cuter than I expected.
Ah, jeez.
No. Of course it makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment.
If you say so.
Yep. So I've asked this before, but since it's you, have you read anything by Shel Silverstein?
Oh yeah, I mean, if I did, it was probably a long time ago. But I know what you're referring to with his style of storytelling. Monica nods.
He's famous for telling all kinds of stories in just a few simple words. His poems can be funny and daring or even sad.
Yeah, short and sweet. Guess that kind of sounds like someone we know.
Exactly. But you see, the great thing about those stories is that they can express views of the world that would apply to anybody. Maybe Natsuki's not an expert, but you probably won't find much filler in her poems.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge to write like that and still be able to get my meaning across.
Yep. Now with that being said...
Monica's expression turned serious for a moment.
Since I'm assuming you are interested in getting to know Natsuki better, you should know something about her. Her issues at home are stable for now, more so than they were before, but I still wouldn't press her too much about them.
Is her dad... I mean, based on our conversation earlier, I got the feeling he wasn't in the picture still, but... Monica shakes her head.
No, luckily that's not a problem, per se, anymore.
This is actually per se is the phrase. It just sounds like per se when you speak it verbally. What does that mean?
Well, it's not really for me to tell you. You'll have to let her tell you about it, but only when she's ready to talk about it. Things with her dad changed quite abruptly, and there's more to the story than you were originally led to believe.
I see. Well, I'm a little more worried now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound so dire. She's not in any immediate danger or anything. I just wanted to make sure you knew not to push too much, given her defensive nature and such. She'll open up in time.
Got it.
And in the meantime, you can use your newfound poetry skills to help. Just know that you don't necessarily have to stick to her exact style.
I'm sure I'll end up trying different things out. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this, at least in front of others.
That's okay.
And now we're allowed to skip. But before we start skipping, one other thing I wanted to point out, unless I scrolled it away, I hope I didn't. Oh yeah, storytelling. You don't have to hyphenate this. Storytelling is all one word, my guy. Doing my duties for proofreading the demo. Yeah. Alright, skip-a-ding. We're gonna side with Natsuki. Side with Natsuki. It was no different. Yuri. We're all trying our best here, so I think we owe it not just to each other, but to ourselves to try and be a little more open to new ideas and expressions. I was a pretty big coffee drinker for a long time until I tried tea, and now I love it. And nobody can deny that your writing style is well established and definitely something you're good at. But I think that if you look further, you'd see there's a lot of merit in different styles other than your own.
I suppose you're right.
Anyway, skipping. So all that changed was we admonished Yuri. Oh, we didn't get a spooky, scary jump scare like we did on Sayori's route. But whatever. I need to start a new game because I deleted all my files in a fit of confused rage. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I just had like 2 poem game saves and a bunch of other saves, and I didn't feel like figuring out which ones were which. And I was like, you know what? I'll just start the heck over. It'll be fine. It'll only take a second or 2. I can blather on. In the meantime, it'll be great. You'll see. You'll see! Come on. Give me the choices. Oh, I need all the help I can get. We'll get that out of the way. We're your friend, Monica. We're still gonna walk home with Sayori, right? I can't help but notice Monica looking a bit disappointed, but she's hiding it from everyone else. I can always talk to her later, though. Right now, I really want to focus on connecting with Sayori. Though if anyone was going to be awakened, accidentally or not, it'd probably be her first. With that, the 2 of us depart the clubroom and make our way home. Oh, we did not let Monica down there before. See, we got some more new dialogue. Good stuff. Poem game. Alright, so now, we need to write for Yuri. Yuri. Secretive. Incapable? Yeah, that's Yuri. Fantasy? Oh, why not? She should like fantasy. Damn it, Dan Salvato, you're nonsense. Don't. Can't characterize his own characters. No, not immediate. Are any of these? Oh yeah, portrait. There. I could also just like use my memory. Extraordinaries, yeah, not her. Starscape. Is it universe? Yes. Not frightening. That would be Sayori, right? No, it was Yuri. Whatever. Infallible? Yeah. Wasn't suicide Sayori? Or is suicide Yuri? No, it's Yuri. It was depression. I already made this mistake previously in this exact Let's Play. Entropy. Unrestrained. No, chocolate. Sensation? Sensation. Inferno, too. Give me that Inferno. Uncontrollable. Eternity. Oh, party, rare. I don't think any of these are her. Right? Wall, bubbles, barrier, shame. Well, I'll go with shame, because that's the most Yuri word out of all of those. Jeez. If I was going for that TDLC Plus achievement, I'd have been mad. No harm in mentioning it. Alright, admittedly, I'm a little mixed on Yuri. On the one hand, I've always found her to be somewhat relatable. I've usually preferred a good book to the company of others. But on the other hand, I can't shake a bit of anxiety from when she had that look on her face when I shake the thought off. I know it was because of Monica, but sometimes I wonder how much was Monica's influence and how much was just that which was already there deep inside but cranked to 11. This is silly. I should just talk to her. I know once I do, I'll feel a lot more comfortable around her. Crap. I think she noticed me staring at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
Yeah, the Book of Barkov, correct?
Actually, it's the Portrait of Barkov.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
It's alright. I only just gave it to you, so...
True, thanks again for that. I thought you had already read through it. Yuri nods.
I just wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason.
I know what you mean, Burke meant. Yuri lets out a small sigh of relief. So tell me, what is the story about, without giving too much away, of course?
Of course. Well...
Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover.
Alright. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart.
Wow, sounds interesting. Yep, that's about as dark as I recall. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Hallie?
Oh, no, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
This is one of those things that interested me the most about Yuri. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals, or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. You raised a good point, and I get what you're saying. Sometimes the world isn't so black and white, good versus evil, etc. Stories like these tend to delve into the motivation for the villain beyond wanting harm. Rather, sometimes it can humanize the villain. Someone that we can relate to and maybe understand their reason for doing what they do, even if we don't agree with how they're doing it. My eyes dart for a moment towards Monica when I say this. The parallel was unintentional, but incidentally the metaphor seems to fit. Oh no, the parallel was absolutely intentional. Like, Yuri saying all that stuff was 100% about Monica in the base game. Meanwhile, Yuri looks pretty pleased by this analysis.
Exactly, yes. That's a good way to put it. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. And that just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club, after all.
That's true.
Hey, Yuri.
Yes?
Since I'm here and we have some time, would you want to read the first part of the book with me? Yuri looks a bit surprised.
You want to read with me, together, at the same time?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, since you're already rereading it and I would just be starting, maybe it'd be nice to read together, and if I have questions, you'd be able to help clarify things. If you want to, though, that's no pressure or worry if not. She thinks about this for a moment, as if trying to decide whether or not she's up for that much of a social commitment.
I think I'd like that.
She looks down kind of bashfully, which just ends up making me feel warm in the face. Before I know it, I'm trying to hide a big grin as I go to retrieve the book from my bag. Mind if I sit here? I mean, I suppose it'd be difficult to read together otherwise, but I just wanted to make sure. Yuri nods her head with a smile. You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, just let me know if I end up distracting you or anything.
All right.
Knowing where this would be going anyway, I decided to save us both the awkwardness. In fact, it might be a little easier if we just shared a book between us. That way we can be on the same page, literally. I groaned to myself a little at the pun, but hey, I saw an opportunity and I went for it. No regrets. Yuri anxiously chuckles.
Well, I suppose that makes sense.
I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I begin as any good book would, with the prologue. Admittedly, it's a little distracting at first reading with someone else, though it's not a particularly bad thing. Indeed, the feeling is somewhat comforting. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. This seems familiar. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Is there a reason we're using this background instead of like the CGs? Do they know how the CGs work? Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it slips to her side. I'm feeling a little flushed, but I try not to let it distract me. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange, my thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Meanwhile, this story is actually a bit darker than I had realized. Hey Yuri, I know it's only been hinted at so far in the story, but what do you think was the original intent of the prison? Does the story expand on that?
Well, yes and no. It doesn't explicitly or directly state the complete origin story aside from several lab notes left by the original researchers. But those, along with a couple of chapters that go into or more in-depth into the types of experiments, leave enough context clues that most readers can piece together the purpose. One hyphen here. It's none of the reasons that I really love this book. Or it's one of the reasons that I really love this book. It doesn't just hand you the answers on a plate. It makes you work for the answers. Part of the joy of the mystery is being able to solve it yourself.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Though I think sometimes authors prefer to leave some questions or answers open-ended in order to allow the reader to form their own opinions. This is plural authors, you don't need the apostrophe. Yuri nods.
Exactly. There are a lot of great stories out there that have all of the plot points tied up in a nice bow at the end. And while those can be satisfying in and of themselves, there's also something to the adage, always leave them wanting more.
Are there two D's in adage? I can't remember at the moment. True. Personally, I hate it when stories do that. Yuri stifles a giggle. Capitalize.
Hallie, you have to be more open to creating your own endings and possibilities, even if they aren't always fully fleshed out. You'll enjoy more stories that way.
I suppose so. Another thing I noticed is that this character shares a lot in common with you, and if I'm being honest, myself as well.
Oh, how so?
Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways. But she also second-guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. If I'm not being too presumptuous, I'd say you and I both tend to overanalyze things in our heads and do a lot of the same things. But they're also kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms.
I see.
Yuri remains silent for a moment.
But Hallie, isn't that a terrible thing to have in common with her? That's kind of embarrassing.
Oh, wait! I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't think you weren't aware that I could tell. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute.
What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone! I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long.
Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought.
Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you?
I guess I don't have much or too much of a preference either way.
In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time.
Alright, I stand up. I make a mental note. I didn't have to skip that one. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Alright, let's get to the poem shard. We'll pick Yuri this time. Definitely has to be Yuri. It'll be good to get an experienced opinion. I think Yuri may be the one whose opinion I am most anxious about. She seems like she was a lot better with this type of stuff than I ever was. Hold up. I think this would be who's SE without the apostrophe. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes, because it's like, isn't this one always who is, no matter what? She seemed like she was a lot better with this type of stuff than I ever was. I gently hand her my poem. A boat! Give me that thing. There exists a vast ocean, heaving to and fro. Its waves lapping and lashing, ebbing and flowing. On that ocean exists a ship, cresting and bobbing. The foam of the waves splashing and crashing into its sides. The ship is old and tattered, but it's built very sturdy. Though it has seen better days and its hull less worn, it still manages to stay afloat. And to do exactly what it was designed to do. Creaking and cracking, the ship continues to dip and crest, the waves endlessly pushing it towards parts unknown. The ship has seen many battles, its paint is worn and its railings cracked. Its sails are torn, but despite all this, it stays afloat, to do exactly what it was designed to do. The only sounds that can be heard upon it are those of the wood and the sails, creaking, flapping, groaning. Its sails, yet it has no crew. No crew to direct it, no crew to maintain it, yet it still stays afloat, doing exactly what it was designed to do. Would that it could find its destination, a port to anchor, to a crew, or a point to anchor to, a crew to maintain it, its sails unwavering, ceaselessly drifting forward, that it might find these things someday. Then it happens, the words crack, and a hole forms, no bigger than a fist. What was once outside is now in. What was once sound is now undone. No crew to bail the water, no help to patch the leak. The ship begins to sink. A ship is designed to stay afloat, but it is not designed to be alone. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
Huh? What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell.
And then she said some stuff that was familiar, and we started skipping.
It's nothing, really. Well, you should give yourself more credit. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah, if anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Hallie.
I catch myself starting to blush and look away, rubbing the back of my neck. Well, me too. Oh, that's nice. Alright, I'm going to pick Natsuki second. Skip. Skipping. This might be it. Depending on what Monica has to say and how long that is. But whatever.
Not bad.
You really think so? Monica nods.
Yeah, I mean...
Hold on a second. Forgot the punctuation.
Yeah, I mean, it could use a little work, but still, it's pretty good. Have you written poetry before?
Fair enough. Yeah, I've been writing off and on for some years.
Well, it definitely shows.
I'm sure I'll end up trying some different things out. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this, at least in front of others.
That's okay.
Skip. Is that it? Are we done? Alright, we need to side with Yuri this time, and admonish Natsuki for being herself. Side with Yuri. Natsuki, I know that you of all people have had to deal with judgment from others based on the things you like, such as manga or anime. It's no different for Yuri. Her writing style is unique, just like yours, but I think deep down you both share more in common than you realize. Doubtful. Anyway, I'm gonna hit skip now, and... there we go. That's it for the Liberation demo. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go. I'm glad that they've managed to pace out the vanilla pretty well. It hasn't, it's been a presence, but it hasn't been a constant thing. They've spaced it out with new dialogue, and this MC has like its own personality, so that kind of helps. But we'll just have to see what they do with the full version. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time with more Doki Doki. Hope to see you then. Bye bye.